Welcome back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and today it is just a solo review of the Peaky Blinders, the Immortal Man movie. I am the only one who watched the series and will watch the movie, or probably ever will be watching the movie out of us three. So this is just a solo review of it, as I did a solo review of the entire series once I finished it from a while back that you can go back and see. As the movie is now officially out on Netflix, I was lucky enough to get to see it in theaters, which I didn't think I was going to get to, as it wasn't showing too close to me, and I ended up seeing it. So feel good about that. Feel good and bad. We'll get more into that in the review, but this will be the full spoiler-filled review as it is now on Netflix for everybody to watch. So with that, basically the quick rundown is this movie picks up a couple, like 12 or 15 years after the end of the series, I believe. And essentially, Tommy is in a house with just Johnny dogs, and Tommy is writing a book and kind of going crazy, seeing the spirits and ghosts of those who have passed. Very early on in this movie, we learn that Arthur is dead as we visit his tombstone, and it follows Duke, his oldest son that he didn't know about for a while. I believe 15-ish is when he finally learned of Duke, that he had with a gypsy at a fairground when he was younger, has taken over the Peaky Blinders, and is kind of running them rampant and not the way that Tommy was running them back in the day. And kind of Birmingham is more afraid of him and what he's doing, as he's nowhere near as Tommy took care of the people and was loyal. And Duke is kind of just a wild. He never really knew how it was ran before he got control of it, essentially. We don't know how quickly he took over. At the end of the Series 6 finale, Tommy whispers something to him, and we're assuming he basically told him that the Peaky Blinders are his, but he wasn't in the family to see how Tommy ran it, so it's interesting to see how he's running the Peaky Blinders, as well as Ada is in charge of, it seems, the business side of things. It doesn't seem the business is nowhere near as successful as it was back when Tommy was running it and back in the day. And this movie takes place during World War II, and Birmingham was hit by artillery in the war, and that leads the people of Birmingham to basically be looking for some help, and they're hoping Tommy's coming back to take care of Duke and how he's running the Peaky Blinders, as well as help take care of the people in this hard time. During this, we get Tim Roth's character is I believe he is a Nazi. I know he's working with them, and he basically has a bunch of counterfeit money from Germany that they want to get into, as Britain is one of the last standing countries that has not fallen. They want to bring in 300 million pounds, I believe it was, of counterfeit money that they want to flood into the people. That will cause the economy to collapse, as a way to help the Nazis take over Britain and gain control. So he goes to Duke and basically says, I'll give you 17 or 17.5 million pounds, but I need you to take care of do something for me. So he kills a guy. And then Tim Roth's character tells him, now you need to kill your Aunt Ada, as she is going to try to bring justice to you. We see Duke basically following her and Carl. He can't go through with it. Tim Roth's character comes out, shoots and kills Ada in the middle of the street. And this kind of leads Tommy to decide that he is coming back, along with the helps of the twin gypsy woman of the mother of Duke. Basically, Tommy decides to come back. He's going to try to help Duke, as well as get revenge for Ada and kill Tim Roth's character. And that's essentially what the movie is for the rest of the way. We get a good amount of characters coming back. Charlie and Curly are in this one, as well as the dock owner. I think he's down in Liverpool. Stephen Graham is the actor. I don't remember his character's name. Johnny Dogs, like I mentioned, but like I said, one of the big ones is no Arthur, as they killed him off throughout That's one of the issues I have, which I will just get into the goods and the bads of it. This is a tough movie to review, because I think they did do some things very well and was good fan service, and then some things were very rough. And one of the things that was very rough is we eventually learned that Tommy killed Arthur, and he basically explains it as he was in a drunken rage and he was just tired of Arthur. And that was something that I know myself and a lot of fans out there were like, that was just complete character assassination of Tommy, being such a family and a loyal man, to do something that major off screen. We're assuming the main reason is Paul Anderson, the actor, because he's had his troubles. They didn't want to do the movie with him, so they thought the best thing to do would be kill Arthur. But to have Tommy do it in just a drunken rage, no real good reason, just was complete off screen, essentially. I mean, they kind of showed it a little bit in the movie, but still, to something that took place off screen. That was just something I did not like at all and did not agree with at all, as well as Ada dying the way she died was very, very upsetting. I think the cinematography of it just didn't feel like the show felt at all to me. It just felt like it had weird Netflix lighting. And those were just some of the major issues that I had. I know there's some other people had. There's a lot of mixed reviews on this. I didn't think Barry Keoghan's Duke was an interesting character at all. He was not engaging to me. There's no mention of like his son Charlie at all. Lizzie, never heard or knew anything about her. I mean, there's just a lot of issues to this movie, to me personally, that as much as it was promoted as it was for the fans, that's what Cillian Murphy was really pushing. He's like, I was only coming back to do this for the fans. As a fan, I felt extremely slighted. I did not feel this movie should have been made after I saw it. I was upset that I saw it because I was like, this is my favorite TV show. I love Peaky Blinders, and this leaves a sour taste in my mouth, especially after the way they ended the series. I thought the final episode of the series was so well done, and this just really wasn't needed and didn't add anything to it. Some of the good things I will say in this is that it had a lot of heart at the end after he died, but at the same time, that's mainly just because he finally died. Tommy dying was just emotional because it was Tommy. It was this character that we all love. The way he went out, I didn't like at all. I didn't think Duke did anything to prove that he should be the one to kill Tommy. And I know Tommy, like, part of it is he wanted to die, but I don't know. To me, I think one of the best scenes in the entire Peaky Blinders is Elfie and Tommy, when Tommy is about to kill him, and Elfie goes off like, if you're going to pull the trigger, do it for an honorable reason. Not like some civilian who doesn't know what we do. And this just felt that Duke just did it because his dad was basically begging him to do it, and like that he now can be the Gypsy King. There was no real intent, and I didn't feel that scene had a lot of heart. The funeral after I thought was great. The voiceover that Cillian Murphy did talking about, everything to do with his guns and do with, I thought that was beautiful. But again, I think a big part of that was just a character that we all love was dying, and it was the official end of it. So I can't really credit that to the storytelling of the movie. I think that was more of the storytelling of the series that built up to that moment. Besides that, I mean, Tommy is kind of like when he essentially suited back up. I thought that scene was cool, and him going into the garrison and the people not knowing who he was in the grenade scene. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. I also thought Tommy at the end doing kind of a throwback to his tunneler days. I thought that was a cool little end of the way to wrap up his story. But other than that, I mean, there's really not a lot I can say positive. I thought Tim Roth's character was extremely underdeveloped and poorly written, that I was like, okay, I don't really care about him. Obviously, I think part of that's comparing to the past villains who had a full series, or, in the case of the first villain, he had 2 full series. That in just a 2-ish hour movie, it was tough to get a villain on that level. But overall, for him to be the one to like kill Ada was just like, okay, this guy comes out of nowhere and gets to kill Ada, who was a phenomenal character, especially towards the end. She really picked things up when Tommy was going crazy, and she just became an extra badass. And again, in the show, she was the movie, she was whatever, and then to die just walking down the street having no idea anything was happening, I just didn't agree with that, and did not think that was well written. So yeah, overall, I was disappointed as a major Peaky Blinders fan. I was very disappointed by the Immortal Man. The writing was not anything special, I thought, at all. Like I said, besides Cillian's ending voiceover work and that kind of almost poem in a way of what to do with his body and everything, nothing stands out to me. As the dialogue was very, very whatever. For a series that had so many great lines and so many great scenes, to have nothing of note really in this movie was just disappointing. Yeah, I was disappointed. The music was pretty good for the most part, but I can't really sit here and give too many compliments to this movie. Like I said, it's a very hard one for me to judge, just because I did like some things, but I think that was mainly just I love the series. Overall, I have a pretty negative experience with this movie. I don't plan to watch it again. and it soured the entire franchise to me. So it's hard to judge it as a movie and not compare it to the series stuff. So my rating for it is probably a 4.5 out of 10. I am honestly, like I said, I wish I didn't ever see this movie, so that I could just have the entire 6 series that Peaky Blinders is, and not have something like this as taste my mouth after a brilliant ending to the series that they did. So that's my review of The Immortal Man. So let me know in the comments down below. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys in the next one.